I don't know you, but I feel so happy to connect with everyone. I'm here in North Bali in Ahmed, and I just went for a wonderful snorkel around, wonderful little fishes, really had a wonderful time, but there was also a lot of plastic still there. So I really got a bit put off and had to find my way among the plastic detritus. And it was really a mixed feeling of being really joyful about seeing coral grow, a lot of fishes coming around. And then at the same time feeling that, hey, we're not sorted here. So my name is Alex. My intention for this little talk is to share a little bit about my journey, what I'm about, and give maybe 2 cents of inspiration on what we can learn from all this. You know, sometimes people say about a situation, it's a terrible thing. And some others will say it's a great thing. You know, is COVID a good thing or a bad thing? You know, depending who you ask, you'll have different answers. I say that probably it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It is what it is. And our reaction, our response to any situation defines really who we are as humans. And I probably feel that now is a wonderful time to actually reflect and go back to who we are as humans, as individuals. And if anything we are experiencing these days is we're entering the era of the individual. We relied on religion to know how to find the truth, follow religions. Then we followed governments. We don't believe in religions, we don't follow governments, we don't trust them anymore because we feel that they contradict themselves all the time. But we had science. We can hang on to science. Science is pretty clear. It is something or it's not. Well, it's not that true anymore. As you know, now you can see the topic of vaccination. Is vaccination a good thing or a bad thing? To be honest, how big it is. But if anything comes out of all this, for me, is really that era or, hey, now it's time for you to go back to your true self and find the answers from within. And of course, we are product of our environment, product of our education. And it's really hard to find our true self, to figure out what I truly believe when I don't speak from a book, what I don't speak from a newspaper, what I don't speak from what I'm reading on Facebook and Instagram. What do I really truly believe in? So I live in Bali for now 9 years, and I'm an environmentalist at heart. All my life, or a big part of my career, was dedicated to making a tangible, positive impact. In Bali, I started BGreener, which is a community of about 200 mindful business owners. We meet, we gather, and we're trying to come up with solutions. For many years, we've been doing this. We started, and I initiated it, refillmybottle.com, which is a map showing you where you can refill your water bottle around the world. We were active in the aftermath of the volcano eruption, Agung, the earthquakes in Sulawesi or in Lombok, where we coordinated support. And very lately, after COVID started, I initiated something called Bali Pledge, so balipledge.org. And what it says in the Bali Pledge and what it stands for is the idea that all we need, each of us, is to reflect on our intention. Not telling us, not telling you, not telling anyone what to do anymore. Because I think we've heard it enough and we're a bit tired of being told what to do and what to think and how to behave and what's right and what's wrong. And let's be clear and let's be real. It just doesn't work. Look at the work of Rainbow Warriors, Greta Thunberg, all those powerful, famous environmentalists that are going out there and saying, shame on you, let's fight, let's go on, let's take on the streets. And let's be real about the impact. How is that impacting people? How do you feel if I tell you, hey, what you do is wrong, listen to me, I know the truth and you are wrong and I am right. Your instinct is to say, well, get out of here, I'm not going to listen to you. Who are you? And that's unfortunately the narrative that we've been adopting for too long. And the only problem with it just doesn't work. So So coming to a place where we're not telling anyone what to think, what to believe anymore is really what I stand for. And the Bali Pledge is just that, saying you come to Bali, just breathe and feel into why are you coming to Bali? What is your intention? And I believe that as soon as you drop into yourself and you reflect on why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I eating? Why am I interacting with that person? And just going back to what is my intention here? I believe we have this, I use the word used by our previous speaker, the seed of how to change. Because it's often the lack of mindfulness, the lack of consciousness that leads to unconscious behaviors, whether it's towards each other as humans or towards the environment. It's just like that, I don't care, I just do it because I've always done it. This has always been like that. And we act as humans just like machines, like robots, stuck in our patterns over and over until we are able to make a stop and say, hey, you know what? I think Encore, you can mute, then it would be good.
Yeah.
So
guys, everyone, whoever's not speaking, please mute yourself.
I think it's you, Encore, no? Or Purnama. And you can, as host, you can mute them. You can mute Purnama. I cannot.
Actually, I'm not a host yet, so.
Let's breathe again. Everyone, fully in. So today, I'm a breathwork coach. I'm a mindfulness facilitator because I believe that all we need to do is create space for people just to get them to connect with themselves. It's no longer time to tell people what to do. It's just time for everyone to take space, to be by ourselves, to reflect, to go within. And I love breathwork, ice baths, authentic relating, and tons of mindful practices because all they do is just bring me back to my true self. And when I can tap into that, then of course, I'm going to be mindful of the environment. Of course, I'm going to connect better with the people around me. But it comes from an authentic voice. It doesn't come from a place of doing things for the next generation and do the right thing and nah. I don't believe in that. I believe in honoring myself before I honor others. And if I care about others, it's because whatever I put out, I'm going to get back in ways I don't expect. I truly believe that. And the secret of living is really to give. And when I give to myself. So being in that mindset says, no, I'm going to be a giver. I'm going to be a giver. And when I do that, and then I consciously go act from that point, now all of a sudden, I also allow myself to receive. I give myself. And when you get that, then all of a sudden, you act with the intention of serving yourself first. And that has a big change for everyone who gets to experience mindfulness practices, this idea of connecting to self, because of course, we are all good humans. We have been ruined by our education, by our culture, because of fear and all those things that have come on top of who we truly are. But deep down, we all act from love. There is only love in each and every one of us, no matter what we do. It's all about just finding ways to go back to our beautiful hearts. And I truly believe that it's that simple. Of course, I'm in love with COVID. I'm in love with COVID because now we're getting what we need, not what we wanted all along. And the universe has these beautiful ways of giving us exactly what we need. We've heard from ever, you need to meditate, you need to go inside, you need to go, all right, confinement, mask, don't touch each other. So we are kind of forced to go within. Oh my God, we are forced to connect with people around us. Oh my God, this is out of our comfort zone. It's exactly what we need. So if we change our mindset and we all of a sudden embrace discomfort and welcome what is coming our way, instead of just blocking it and rejecting it, then all of a sudden we realize that everything is a blessing, even if it's not apparent. And of course, I'm bearing in mind people that are being affected around the world negatively, and at the individual level, I can see how it can be a traumatic experience, and I get it, and I have people being sick around me. But if we take a little bit of a step back and we look at it with just more compassion and understanding and just feeling into, hey, what do I need right now? What did I really need? I needed to pause. I needed to stop running like a maniac, being stuck in the matrix, because I thought if I have more rich, if I have more sex, if I have more of this, then I'll be eventually happy. And only to realize that, of course, it's not happening. Look, I love watching videos of successful people. You know why? Because they are all often miserable. There's nothing worse than getting to the top, because you realize, oh my God, what was I chasing? Now I've got the money, I've got the fame, so what? And one of the person that really inspired me in my life was, when I was adolescent, was Richard Branson. And in an interview when he was on a super yacht with 2 hot girls, his assistants, and he had his private island, and the journalist, and he was laughing all the time. And the journalist asked him, says, oh, come on, it's easy to be happy when you have money, when you've got the girls, when you've got everything, then of course you're happy. And you know what he replied? And that stayed with me until now. And that's been a really important moment. And that defined everything for me. He said, no, you've got it all wrong. It's because I'm happy that I've got the girls. It's because I'm happy that I've got the super yacht and the island, etc. It's an inside job. And when you get that, when you realize that all you need to do is from within find this calm, serene, not super high, no, just look at that. Look at the world we live in. Beyond the fear, beyond the story, look around you. Look what's around you. Look at the people who care about you. Look at the people who helped you when you were in need. Look at the beauty of whatever, wherever you are in the world. Look at it. And when you are tapping into that, when you are literally putting your attention to this beauty, your energy will follow that. And we all know that when someone is really happy and buzzy, we want to invite them to the party. We want to do business with them. We want to have this person more in our life. So this vibration is something that is a generator, that is at the seed of how we can transform ourselves. And it's always been there. And that's the beauty of it all, that it's just about going within, finding this true self. And breathwork, ice baths, and other practices, I love sauna as well, are wonderful ways to get there. So this is my 2 cents. So I'm going to share with you like really a few breathing tips so that you can really implement these things in your daily life. The first one is probably the most important one, and it's called the conscious breath. And it goes like that. When I'm doing this, I'm connecting with myself. I'm giving myself time and space to feel into any situation. I give you some examples. You're eating your food, middle of your meal, you pause, you take an inhale and an exhale. That's 2-3 seconds. Do I want more food? Does my body need more food? Or is it my parents telling me poor kids are dying in Africa, you better finish your plate? You know, how many of us just do this unconsciously because this is what we do? But in the restaurant, they bring you a big plate. All right, I'm eating a big plate. You know, if you're an environmentalist, carry a Tupperware, no problem. How many people says, do you want another beer? Sure, because it's what you do. You want to be accepted in the context of the community. So you're going to have all the time these unconscious behaviors. And just adding a conscious breath, an inhale and an exhale, is all you need to go back to your true self and feel into your core, not your mind. Remember this, your mind is not yours. It's owned by Mark Zuckerberg, by everyone who's putting content out there, what you've read, what you heard, my voice. All this is just noise that is creating you some mindset. But that's just a story. All you believe is a story. But connecting to your animal self, you are an animal, your instinct, your gut feeling, you know what to do at every moment. How many people you know who get a job and 20 years later they stop and they say, oh my God, I knew it from day one, it was not the job for me. I got married for 20 years and I get divorced, says, you know what? I knew it before going into the church. I knew it was not the right partner for me. So when we are able to go out of the conditioning, out of the story, just tapping into our true self, then all of a sudden things fall into place naturally, beautifully, easily. Yeah. So very, very important, conscious breath, inhale, exhale. Now, second practice, because we live in stressful time, I want you to learn how to deal with stress. And Here is the secret. Life, like everything else, needs to be mastered. How do you master dealing with your emotions? You train, you practice, reflect on your life. Why you're good at what you do? Hard work, repetition. Well, why should this be different? Why don't we train ourselves to deal with difficult situations? That's it. It's not more complicated than that. So here is the breathing technique, which I recommend you do twice a day for 5 minutes at a time. And it goes like that. You're going to take an inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. In and out. This is called coherent breathing. This improves your heart rate variability. Your heart rate variability, HRV, is your ability to get out of a stressful situation. So the secret is not to live a stressless life. No, the secret is to be able to handle stress in a peaceful, relaxed way. When you train yourself to deal with any stress that comes your way from a place of being, okay, this is stressful, and I can reconnect to my breath. My breath is always with me. I've always got it. As soon as you can tap into that, then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I've got this. I've got this. That's really powerful, guys, because we are constantly bombarded with fear. And it's normal. As an animal, you're trying to constantly assess, am I safe or not? This is what you do as an animal. So it's okay. But if you are able to tap into that and says, okay, I can witness myself right now. Okay, I'm tapping into this energy that is not serving me right now. I can reconnect to my breath and everything is okay. And I can breathe and I'm fine. All of a sudden, fear disappears and all remains is love. And it's bullshit. You've heard it over and over, but it's goddamn true. The hippies were right. And when you tap into that, I promise you, you will realize that it's all an illusion. And it's an illusion that you can create for yourself. You create your reality. And listen up what Richard Branson said. My personality creates my personal reality. And most people are defined by their environment. It's their environment, their personal reality that defines who they are. Oh my God, he's miserable. Of course, he had this and that happen in his life. He went through this. It is a choice. At one point, you have your ability to reclaim power and says, okay, no, I am crafting my energy. I'm crafting by my vibration and I'm acting from there. And now all of a sudden things change around you like magic. That's really what it's about. So yes, I could go on forever, my friends. Just a few more, throwing you a few more breathing tips. Breathe through the nose, especially in COVID time. Your nose is antibacterial, antifungus. You produce nitric oxide. It's a natural filtration system. You don't have it through the mouth. You live in a country where you're exposed to bacteria, viruses, fungus. Breathe through your nose. Inhale, exhale through the nose is a wonderful way to not be annoyed by any bacteria. No filtration in the mouth. So really train yourself. You also activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the nervous system that is relaxing you. Every time you breathe through the mouth, it's activating. When you're stressed, you do. When you're in love, what do you do? Yeah. So train yourself to tap into that, to relaxing yourself. The more you're going to do it consciously, the more you'll be able to tap into it unconsciously in everyday time. You want to live a more conscious life? You always had that tool, your breath. It's the gateway to consciousness because you breathe from the beginning of this talk. You've been breathing. You don't need me to tell you how to breathe unconsciously. And as soon as I say that, now you are being aware of your breath. You're breathing consciously. The more you're going to bring consciousness to your breath, the more you're going to be able to activate and change your breath rate. Your heart rate is then being changed. And then guess what? Your heart rate change your brain state. So here we go. We've got the magic formula. Breath rate changes heart rate, which changes brain rate. And this has been measured. This has been measured. You can change your mind just by changing your breath. All right, my friends, I think that's plenty for today. I wanted to give you a little teaser of what the breath can do for you and how magical. And the best about it, it's free. You had it from birth. till death. It's always with you. It's your best friend. It will never leave you. You don't need anything or anyone. You don't need doctors, therapists, healers. You got it. It's just a breath. It's your breath. And once you are in love with your breath, once you have this innate connection with your breath, you will be in love with every moment of your life. That's what it's about. It's about reconnecting to your true self. And it's goddamn simple. All you need to do is practice. It doesn't matter what kind of breath work you do. It doesn't matter. Let's go of, oh, it is one way of breathing. No. Just be mindful of your breath. As soon as you do that, I promise you, you will tap into a true reality that has been there all along. It's always been there. You can catch yourself every time you're triggered, angry, frustrated. Oh my God, I can witness something there. And how? The breath, over and over. All right, guys. So I'm happy to connect with me. The brand is called Breathing Cold Bali on Instagram. You have my website. I do now only facilitator trainings. That's what I'm about. I really like to take people on long journeys to help them really change their life. Adrian joined. You can ask him. He's been part of it. And so if anyone is interested to do it for themselves, as our potential facilitators, the next one is in April. So you have a lot of time to reach out and connect and make the space. But I promise you, it's a life transforming experience. And you can watch the testimonials because they really say that over and over. And all we do is create a space for you to be with yourself, because you've got all the answers. You always had them, but you've been conditioned to think badly about yourself, that you're not good enough, that you're not lovable, and and we clear the stories. And once you do that, life is good. Life is great. And nothing that is happening will affecting you anymore. That's what it's about. All right.
Wow. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Alex. Thank you so much. It's reassuring. It just, it reminds you, takes you to the basics, back to your roots. And any questions? Does anyone have any questions for us? How can they? I see Christian is back.
Yeah, I have a question to you, of course. Like, sorry, I haven't been in the call for beginning because I had a lunch break. What is actually, do you have any like, you're saying breathing cold, you're saying like breathing and cold, like similar to the Wim Hof method?
Yeah, so I train with Wim.
You train with him.
The intention is different and my energy is very different and my approach is very different. We use the breath and we use the cold. So that's very similar and that's very aligned. And I absolutely love and I'm forever grateful for Wim. But I have a much more, let's say, feminine approach where I give space for people to feel what they have to feel rather than kind of get them to push them into being high and doing things. So it's a much more soft and relaxed and welcoming energy where people really unravel what they need to do. So it's a trauma release practice. And yes, so it's same but different, I would say. And also I don't really push for one method. I'm really all about people finding their breath. So I'm not telling you what to do. I just observe you and I feel what you need and what is right for you. And then just getting you to fall in love with your breath. That's what I care about.
Awesome. I like it. Yeah.
Guys, ice bath is incredible. You can look in a lot of things I'm very excited these days by the power of the pain and pleasure working like that. And the more you go towards pain, the more you prep yourself for pleasure. And the more you stay in pleasure and seeking pleasure, the more you experience pain. And addiction is a good example of that. And ice really gets into that realm that the more I consciously push myself towards experiencing pain, the higher and the better and the more joy I will feel in my life. And that's really because we've got it all wrong. We are chasing the joy, we're chasing the pleasure. And that's a fundamental mistake because it goes back to homeostasis. It goes always back to normal. And the more you're going to go for high things, high vibration, the more you're going to experience the pain that goes after. So yeah, that's what I'm exploring these days. And it's with the dopamine culture that we live in and how the dopamine is really controlling our lives and how, sometimes getting off the drug helps you really connect to, again, it's more peaceful, relaxed, balanced joy that the Buddhists have been promoting forever, that is kind of actually the way, the balanced way is the way to go, but it's hard for us to comprehend. But we are animals, we produce hormones, so understanding how we work, how we operate as animals, and give us a lot of clues on how to behave. And unfortunately, we are manipulated by big pharma and governments who have different agendas, so they don't really encourage us to figure out the truth about ourselves. But it's pretty simple. It's pretty, and it, you know, all these things resonate because it's truth, and truth speak to your heart. So there is no need for me to say anything. It always hits home because you know it. There's nothing that is new. It's just we all share that same, you know, experience of being humans in this world. But we are, and I'll finish with that. You know, I love the definition of sustainability in Bali, Trihita Karana, and that's something the rest of the world should learn from. Trihita Karana means connection between man and man, man and nature, and man and gods. And it's the spiritual essence of sustainability that we have lost. Because in the West, we need to measure, we need to have data, and it's a very cold world. And that's why we fail, because we miss one step to the stool. And that's why we are really not sure where we stand, because we focus on doing the right thing, but we miss one big element. And that's where the Balinese have got it right all along, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I can see those points. Like one question I have personally, are you in Ubud? It looks like you're
Ahmed.
Where?
Ahmed.
In Ahmed. Ah, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, in Ahmed, yeah. So I'm gonna come by and see you in Ahmed. I lived in Lipa for 7 months. Yeah.
I live in Ubud. I'm based in Ubud.
Ah, yeah, okay. I'm living in Ubud. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'd like to connect. Yeah. Okay, cool.